Hello folks, welcome along to A Taste of Country with Lucia Butler. I've got a special artist here beside me. It's Richie Hayes. Richie would be a new voice in country music and previously, 2 years ago, a runner-up in The Voice of Ireland. Richie, welcome.
Thanks for having me, Lucia. Delighted to be here.
You're more than welcome, Richie. It's always a pleasure. I've heard wonderful things about you, Richie, and last night I've seen for myself.
All good, hopefully, I think. I think last night was the first time we met, and it's great to have a chat with you now. But yeah, it's kind of started off a bit of an explosion, but I think I'm going to jump on the roller coaster and go whatever way and whatever direction it takes me. But so far, going by last night and the reaction of the crowd that was there, it was great.
Now, Richie, you're from County Waterford?
I'm originally from Waterford City, right bang smack in the middle. For anyone's familiar with Waterford City, I was right Ballybricken, which is a very famous part of the town. And in a nutshell, I moved to Dublin for 12 years back in 2000 and met my now wife, who was a Dublin girl, and we live now in County Waterford because we have a stage school here in the city as well. So that's what brought us back down. So County Waterford is my home address at the minute.
Okay. And Richie, I know your dad was very, very well known out there in the Irish, on the Irish scene and beyond.
Yeah, Dad is a singer all his life. As I said, I was very lucky born into a musical family. Dad was in singing, as I said, in the choir when he was young, and then I suppose Dad's biggest break was when he won what you could say what was the Voice of Ireland or an X Factor competition. Then, for those who might be aware, Dad is Dick Hayes, and he was signed to Decca Records, and that was the prize from winning this competition. And he released 2 songs. One was called Gimme. It's funny. Give me one more chance. Going to go back to Ginny, and Little Schoolgirl, and he was known as Little Lenny Davis. And it's funny because they've surfaced on YouTube lately, so people should have a little search for him, and they go under, as I said, Little Schoolgirl and Gonna Go Back to Ginny. But as I said, going back to it, Dad was kind of came at the wrong time. It was when the solo singers were going out and the groups were coming back in, such as the Beatles and the Kinks and so on. So it was the wrong place, wrong time. He returned home, did a bit of the show band scene, and as I got older, then he was going around on the okay. As I said, he was going around on the just the music scene around the counties and with the show band and the things. And as the family got that bit bigger and I came along, he started doing more of the weddings and stuff like that. Spent a lot of time in America as well, and but he's great, and he's always been a great mentor for me, and subsequently we both ended up in The Voice at the time as well.
Very, very good. And now, Richie, I'm just going to say this, you're very small in stature, but my God, you've got a wonderful big voice.
Yeah, a lot of people say that because I think I'm 4'11" and a bit, but as I always say, that bit is the most important bit. And he didn't give me legs, but he gave me big lungs. And again, everyone who knows the family said they didn't lick it off the stones. Dad's voice was huge as well. So I just love getting out there and singing, and I'm blessed. And I will say this, that when I was young and I was involved in musical theatre, I used to sing a huge amount, and I was trying to sing big songs, and my dad and mum would always stop me, and I was a typical teenager, well, I won't let me sing. He said, you're going to ruin your voice, stop singing the way you are. And
you sang from a very young age, though. When you were 4 years of age, I believe there's a video to come out there. Yeah,
there's a video that may surface on YouTube to some stage, hopefully not. I was 4 years of age, and there was a friend of ours, John Mark, so we lived in London at the time, and he had a company called Crystal Videos, and at the time there was very few people had video cameras on that level. And he came over for a visit home one time, and he brought all the cameras into the house, and we did a family video. And I was only a child, 4 years, no teeth in my head, and I ended up singing the song Jennifer Rush's The Power of Love, but I had a hat over my head to hide the headphones. And this video was brought out at my wedding and at my 21st and all that, so no doubt it's going to appear at some stage again.
But that does surface then.
Yeah, that was my first kind of recorded version of a song, me singing, and the rest is history after that.
And I know you've got some other members of the family that sing. I know your mum does a bit of singing as well.
Yeah, Mam sings. Mam's a great country and Irish voice. You know, sometimes I hear some of the great country names singing, and I kind of go, geez, Mam sounds like that. But she never really took it further. She was always kind of in the background. But herself and Dad, when they were kind of courting, as we'll say, dating in the younger age, they used to do a little duo thing. But then obviously Mam had myself and my 2 older brothers. I'm the youngest. There's David and John, and myself. John would be be more into the sports and kind of carpentry, whereas I took to the music, and David did as well. David is my oldest brother, and he plays piano with keyboards with Dad since he's 14 years of age, so he's playing with him all his life.
That's fantastic, isn't it? Maybe there'd be a duet coming with yourself and your mum.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah, and there's one or two songs actually that I've been listening to, because obviously when we decided to go down the country route, myself and my brother Dave put a lot of effort into finding the right material and what kind of angle to go for. And I came across a couple of songs. Won't say what they are yet, I'll keep them as a surprise, but I definitely, there's one particular song that's a duet, and the lady that sings it sounds like my mum, sounds exactly like her. So yeah, I'd love to do that. So it'd be great to have it, because I've already recorded a couple of duets with Dad as well.
Fantastic, that would be absolutely great. And you, as I said, you have a single out there now, Give Me One More Chance.
Yes, we recorded in Beach Park Studios with Dara Winston, and Dara, for who people might know, has been Daniel O'Donnell's producer for the last 10 or 12 years. Great guy, blessed to have him involved in the project. When I set out to do this, I wanted to do it right, and I took the time. I got everything else out of my head and out of the way, and I think we found a really good song, and anyone that I've played it for, kind of privately or recently in public, has been extremely kind of positive to it.
I see it last night, Richie, out on the dance floor. They loved it, my goodness, and absolutely fantastic. It's a very lively song, jivey and lively. And
absolutely, it's a feel-good song, and it makes you automatically, it's a toe-tapping kind of hand-clapping song, and you automatically just want to get up and jive to it and dance, because it has that shuffle beat to it, and it's a real driving song. And I wanted to add the brass into it to give that kind of show band element as well, because for anyone who hasn't seen me perform, I'm very much a showman out there, you know, because I've done stand-up comedian on the Irish scene as well for years in America. So for me to go out and do this was, I wanted to make sure that I had all those elements in it. And it is, I think we've thrown kind of a bit of everything. It's a complete Irish stew of everything going on, but it seems to be positive, and the audience are reacting to it instantly.
Yeah, and you do a lot of stand-up comedies, you say, and you worked with the like of Tony Stevens there, and you were away on the cruises there with
Tony Kenny, actually. Yeah.
Sorry, did I say Tony? Sorry, my apologies. Tony.
I work with him at some
Tony
stage.
Kenny. Yes, Tony Kenny, and you went on the cruises there, and you went down really well.
Yeah, it was great. I did the Gaiety Panto for 12 years, but in the middle of that run, his wife Joan Kenny was the producer of Jury's Irish Cabaret, where Tony was for God knows how many years. But Tony finished his run there after so long, and I basically took over and finished I remember the last night of September, early October, on my first year, and the following morning left Dublin and flew to Branson for 13 weeks with him, and subsequently stayed with him for 5 years and learned a huge amount of what I do today, both from Tony and Joan, in fairness to him. It was a great training, and got to meet so many people. Got to meet Daniel O'Donnell, who was like, it's just Daniel, you can't say any more, you know. But to meet these people and get to see him from side stage as opposed to out front, and it's a totally different thing, and I truly believe that's where I've learned what I'm able to do today from that.
And going back to the Voice of Ireland, 2 years ago you were runner-up in the Voice of Ireland. Did you enjoy that? I said, I do realise you said that your dad, without you knowing, had gone in for the competition as well, and he got through and you got through? Yeah,
we both got through. You see, the way the Voice is done is there's private auditions done off camera, and they select then 100 to 150 people, and they look at, I think that year they saw 2,500-3,000 people, and they picked say 150. But we went in and we did the blind auditions then, which is where the chairs turn around. I found out obviously the day or two before that he was in it, because I was keeping it quiet. I didn't want people knowing, and then he said, well, I'm going as well. So when we got there, obviously being father and son, they knew about it, and they teamed us up together, and I went on first, and then Dad went on first, and then I went on after him. Unfortunately, Dad didn't go through, and it was nothing but he was just the wrong age for it, and they all said, look, we loved it, we thought it was great, but we knew before we even turned around that you were an older man, and we're just not right for this particular show. So obviously they didn't know that his son was coming up after it, and I did, and I got through with Brian Kennedy. And like the rest is history, because 3 months later, or should I say nearly 5 months later, because it's filmed in September, November, and then it airs in January, and the live shows kicked off. I did the battles, got through, had a really tough battle with a guy, Connor from Limerick, who was a great singer, and we'll go on further. But I got down to the last two. The final was a great thing. We had one coach had each singer left, and I was Brian's last man standing, and then I was myself and Pat Byrne with the last two.
Pat Byrne won it, did he?
Pat won it on that night, and but look, it was the exposure I was looking at, and I subsequently went on and did another TV programme called Celebrity Vanished Door with RT, which was great exposure again. So I kind of became, a household name in most parts of the country, which is what I'm going to capitalise on now, because when you think about it, when you think about what you need in place before you make a big move like I'm making at the moment, and thankfully in Ireland, and I have that kind of people will recognise. You might recognise me instantly because it's been a bit long time ago, but even last night people went, that's the little fella, because I'm small. They go, that's the little fella who was on the Voice, and I go, all right, and he's singing country. We like country, and we liked him when he was on the Voice, and all that mixed together is hopefully the package that everyone's waiting for. You know?
So you're going down the country road now, Richie. This is it for you.
Yeah, the single "Give Me One More Chance" is going to be available on iTunes and Spotify from the 6th of September. And what we've done is we recorded 5 or 6 tracks, and I was going to originally do an EP, but what I'm going to do is it will be available as an EP, but they're also going to be released as singles then as well, and videos to accompaniment.
We'll have an album then at the end of it at some point.
Will be ready in January, because I have a lot of gigs to be announced in the coming weeks for Ireland. Hopefully next year I'll get over into the UK and up to Scotland and so on. But kind of going back stateside in November, I'm over with Anna McGoldrick in New Hampshire in November, and then I do my Christmas season in Limerick in UCH with Twink.
That's the home of our station, by the way, Pat Garrett down there in Limerick.
Yeah,
so
Limerick's a great spot for everything. It's such a buzzing place, you know, and delighted to be back down there again, because I was there last year as well with Panto. So we're back there, and then in February I go out on the Gertrude Burns cruise, which, as I said, I've done before, but as a guest on Tony. So I'm really excited and delighted to be asked back on my own steam, you know, and this is why the country stuff between the singles. So by the time we get to February, I'll probably be out on the 2nd or 3rd single, and hopefully by then the train that will be the Richie Hayes country singer will have taken full speed, you know, and it's going to be a building process. But hopefully, if the reaction last night and over the last couple of days is anything to go by, hopefully the product's going to work, and then I'll just have to get the feet to the ground and keep going, you know.
Yeah, well, Richie, I think you're absolutely fantastic. Looking at you there last night, your performance was wonderful. You're really good with people there, and you did capture the audience there, big style. And if you are on Facebook, aren't you?
I'm on Facebook, yeah. It's Richie Hayes, straight RICHIE, there's no T in it. And I'm on Twitter, it's at Richie Hayes 2012. And then I suppose the most direct one is my website is richiehays.com.
So your album, your singles will be available to buy on your website?
The single is available on iTunes, which is supposed to be the handiest for everyone. I will have physical copies in record stores as well, but the easiest one at the moment will be iTunes and as Spotify. And the album will be on general release, as they say, through the website from January, late January 2014.
Absolutely fantastic, Richie. I'd like to wish you every continued success from myself, Lucia, and all of Irish Country Music Radio. Is there anyone you want to say hello to or thank before we go?
Well, I'd like to say hello to all, hopefully, my new listeners of both on your great show, and anyone that's listening who hasn't heard me when you play the single, hopefully they're going to like it and will log on and touch base with me, and I look forward to seeing you at a venue near you. And of course, thanks to yourself and to everyone at Irish Country Music Radio. And you're one of the first interviews I've done with this album, so please God, it won't be the last.
Well, Richie, it's an absolutely fantastic song, so I'm looking forward to the rest of your stuff and continued success to you along the road. I know you've got a great future ahead of you, so even though you may not have won the Voice, but it has opened up doors for you.
As I said, it's not where you start, it's where you finish.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And you have to take these things, and everything is a learning curve. I always say that if you go to bed that night not having learned anything new that day, it was a waste of a day. So, and that was a big learning curve for me. It got my name out there. So, onwards and upwards.
Okay. Well, Richie, thank you very much from Lucia Butler and
Richie Hayes.
God bless you all, Richard.